What's up, guys? It's your boy in Soundcraft Studios here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. Excuse me. Anyways, let's get started. Now, I guess we may as well start off with the presentation. This is a remake of an old Game Boy game. Yeah, pretty much. Although, not a lot of people have really ever heard of Link's Awakening. Some have, but there are a good amount of people who haven't. So this gives people a brand new chance to try out the game. And of course, we gotta talk about the visuals. This game looks beautiful. It looks like a work of art. It's so cool looking. I know some people might be against it, but I honestly think it really fits this style of Zelda. I feel like top-down Zelda kind of fits this more toy, plasticky type of design as opposed to like the 3D games. Although I will be dead in the ground, I really want an Earthbound remake like this. I will be dead in the ground. I want an Earthbound remake like this. Come on, Nintendo. Support that series. And overall, the game is really pretty. But there's one problem. The freaking frame rate. I think a lot of people have talked about it before, but the frame rate is an issue. See, most of the time it stays 60 FPS, but whenever you go into like a new area, it dips down to 30 FPS. And sometimes it stays like this for like 5 seconds. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's ugly. I don't even know what to really say. They may or either may as well have kept the game at 30 FPS like the whole time, or keep it at a strict 60 FPS without frame drops. Like seriously. But overall, the game does look pretty. The game, and again, the frame rate is an issue, but it's not like, but you can get past it. Besides, graphics aren't necessarily everything. What about the story? Well, the story of this game is unique. I'm not going to spoil anything. Essentially, Link wakes up on this island of some kind, and apparently has to go and find these 8 instruments to wake up this thing in this Yoshi-looking egg on the top of a volcano. Pretty much. That's pretty much what you got right there. To be honest, it's not like the story's... It's alright. It's not too bad. I'm not too picky. It's good. Next, we get into gameplay. Now, the gameplay in this game is very similar to that of, like, the top-down Zelda games. It's pretty much almost the exact same thing. In fact, the game is literally made grid by grid, just like the original game, which is kind of a turnoff for games that are coming out in 2019, but it's not the worst thing ever, because the gameplay is so cool. Essentially, you have like a lot of these moves that were in the 2D top-down Zelda games. I don't really need to explain much. You have a sword in your shield, and you guard with your shield, and you swing with your sword. You can charge up your sword to swing all around, and stuff like that. Although you can get various abilities throughout the dungeons and completing them. Not only do you get more health, but you can also get your way around a lot easier. Sometimes there'll be these boulders in your way, and you'll need like a specific item that will allow you to be strong enough to lift up these items, whether they rocks or boulders or big pots. And sometimes there's holes that you can fall down, but you can get an ability that can actually allow you to jump over them. So, and it's really, really cool. The gameplay is really simple, but they really add on some good amount of stuff. Honestly, gameplay-wise, it's really, really solid, and the dungeons really work to help the gameplay a little bit more. Next, we'll get into controls, and controls are fine. I don't need to say anything about that. Next, we'll get into the soundtrack, and I gotta be honest, the soundtrack in this game isn't too bad. I do like it a little bit, but I don't know if it has the same sort of thing as like the other Zelda games do. I don't know. I mean, it's not bad by any means. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty good, but I don't know if it's as good as like the other Zelda games. Even Breath of the Wild had more epic sounding music. That's just my personal opinion. It's fine regardless. Next, we have to get into content. Now, this game is $60 at the time of making this video. This is a remake of a Game Boy game from 1993, and they're putting it at a $60 price tag. And the content this game delivers, I mean, the game isn't really that long when you think about it. I mean, you could beat the game in like 5 hours or something like that. there is a lot of side stuff you can do, like all that stuff. But one new thing that was added into this game was like kind of a dungeon maker. It's basically the closest Zelda will ever get to a Mario Maker. And I mean, it's alright. I mean, it's not the most in-depth thing at all. I mean, there's really not a lot there. But you can essentially make your own dungeons. But there isn't a lot to it, and you can't even play other ones online. So, honestly, content-wise, I'm gonna have to give this game. It's not the worst thing because you can play the game for a good amount of time, but I don't know if this game's content is big enough for $60. I think this game would have fared much better if it was a $40 game, more of a budget game, or maybe even $50. That's a bit of a stretch, but I will take that stretch. The game could be $50, and I think then it would be a little bit more worth it. Yeah, that's just my opinion. And overall, I think Link's Awakening is a really cool remake. I think that this game, don't get me wrong, I don't feel like this game has a lot of content, and the game's frame rate can be ridiculous at times, and the game's price tag can be high. But this is a great remake. It's a remake of a Game Boy game that not a lot of people played, and this is probably a good way to get into Link's Awakening. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Personally speaking, I don't think this game would count for $60. Just find the game for sale for like $40 or so, or just get a used copy. I mean, that should probably work. And on my scale of 0 to 10, I would give this game a 7.5 out of 10. It's not a bad game by any means. It's a really cool remake, but there are just some issues that really do knock the score down a few notches. That's pretty much that. But overall, I did like this game. Well, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
It's showtime! Did you enjoy the show? Well, time for the highlight.